In a quiet village beneath the hills of South Korea, Taemin, a humble young farmer, worked day and night under the blazing sun. Meanwhile, Jiwoo, the daughter of Senator Park, stood on the balcony of her city mansion, watching the sunset, wondering what life outside her golden cage felt like. Fate brought them together when Jiwoo visited the countryside on a charity trip led by her mother. Taemin bowed politely, but avoided her eyes. "She's too rich to even talk to me," he thought. But Jiwoo saw something rare in him: honesty, humility, kindness. She returned every week. They spoke, they laughed. They sat under the apricot tree, forgetting the world. But love doesn't always bloom in peace. Jiwoo's parent found out. "You're forbidden to see that farmer boy again," her father roared. Jiwoo escaped one night, ran barefoot back to the village, into Taemin's arms. The next morning, Taemin was dragged from his farm by hired men, beaten and bloody. Taemin was thrown into a cold prison cell. Jiwoo was locked away, her heart shattered. Alone, helpless, she thought. Maybe, if I end this life, they'll understand my love. But then, she heard a voice, her own. "Number, if I die, he suffers alone." She wiped her tears and stood up. Jiwoo stood outside the gates of the senator's office, holding a handwritten sign. "Let him go. Love is not a crime." Many passed without care. But one reporter stopped and asked her, "Why him?" She answered softly, "Because no one has ever made me feel human like he does." The video went viral. The nation began to whisper, then shout. Crowds gathered, not for fame, but for love. Jiwoo walked up the steps of her father's office, surrounded by strangers who now stood as her voice. "Appa," she said, standing before her father. "If love isn't allowed, what is left of your law?" He stared at her in silence, torn between power and love. That night, Jiwoo was interviewed on national television. She didn't speak politics. She spoke love. He never asked for money. He never asked for favors. Just my time. Senator Park watched from his office alone. Her words struck a long-forgotten chord. He saw his young self in Taemin's struggle. He remembered the girl who once believed in him, Jiwoo's mother. In silence, he stood, picked up his coat, and headed to the prison. Taemin looked up through bloodshot eyes. He could barely believe who stood at the bars. "Do you really love her?" the senator asked. Taemin replied, "More than my own breath, sir. I would die before I hurt her." Senator turned and walked away. He didn't say a word. Jiwoo waited in the village. Her heart beat in fear and hope. Then, a car stopped. The gates of the prison opened. Taemin walked out, eyes blinking in the light, face in disbelief. He saw her. Jiwoo ran to him, and for a moment, time stopped. Their embrace was not just of love, but survival. In the distance, Senator Park watched quietly from his car. He stepped out, walked to them, and said the words Jiwoo prayed to hear. "Let love be free." He turned to Taemin. "You'll need a car and a future." With that, the farmer became more than just a farmer. The wedding came in spring. The whole village danced. And when they kissed, even the wind paused to witness it. The senator sat quietly at the back of the wedding, his wife beside him, wiping silent tears. As Jiwoo danced with the villagers, she looked at her father. He gave the smallest nod. Months later, Taemin opened his first organic food shop in Seoul. He hired locals from his village, lifting others who once stood where he had. Jiwoo became the voice for the unheard, fighting for love, equality, and dignity. Senator Park was seen less in politics, more in people's homes, offering help in silence. Taemin and Jiwoo often returned to the village where their love first bloomed. Under that same apricot tree, he whispered, "Would you still choose me again?" Jiwoo smiled and said, "1,000 times over." Together, they built not just a business, but a legacy of what love could become. And though the road was long, every wound led to this joy. They didn't win because they fought loud. They won because they never stopped believing. And love, real love, always finds a way. Senator Park later told his grandson, "Don't judge a man by his clothes, but by his heart." And that child grew up knowing his family was built on faith, fight, and love that never quit. Senator Park ordered a car for Taemin and funded his dream business. Jiwoo and Taemin's wedding was the happiest day the village ever saw. From a farmer to a tycoon, from pain to purpose. Senator now tells people, love is a beautiful thing, but it's not always easy. Would you fight for your love? Would you choose pain for someone who truly sees you? Now, let me ask you, if you were Jiwoo or Taemin, what would you have done? Would you fight for love? Let us know in the comments. Because one thing's for sure, love, real love, never gives up.
If you like this video, please like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to support this channel.